Yeah, obviously we are in a position where we're trying to kind of settle down from that championship season. It was a great run for us last year, a historic run for our program. We're so proud of the way the team competed and finished. But we lost a lot of the players from last year's team, and this team looks a lot different. We have 11 newcomers to the team, and many of those are freshmen, incoming freshmen from high school. So this year our goals are really last year we created a hashtag for the team. It was hashtag 20 Tourney Champs, and the team really embraced that. This year, our new hashtag for our team is hashtag Argos Arete. And arete is the Greek word for excellence in everything you do. And so we've really been talking about that with our young team, is that every time they step on the floor, every time they're in the classroom, whatever they're doing, we want them to do it with excellence. And that's a hard lesson to learn for a young team. So some days in practice it's been challenging. Obviously, I know some of the older players get frustrated when we have to do repeated repetitions of different drills, but that's one way that we're learning to do excellence in everything we do. So that's our goal really for our young team. Is we haven't really talked about winning championships, although that is something as an expectation in our program. Now that we've won one, we've got the foundation in our program to win another one. But we do have a talented team. Although they're very young, we are talented. I thought our staff did a great job of recruiting and bringing in some really high-quality high school players and some junior college transfers. So we feel like we can pick up where we left off, but this year will be a little bit different, a little bit more challenging. You'll see us, a team last year, we were very athletic. We were small at the guard spot. Our guard play was the strongest part of our play. This year we're a little bit bigger. Although we're still athletic, we're a better outside shooting team. Our post presence is a lot better this year. We'll play a very similar style of play this year. You'll still see us get up and down the court. We're going to press a lot. We're going to put a lot of pressure on our opponents. We're still trying to get to that 20-point-a-game average, or 70-point-a-game average, for our team, because we feel like we can be very successful when scoring a lot of points, obviously. But our team will be a little bit different. You'll see a little bit different style from us as far as with that outside shooting and then getting the ball inside a little bit more.
Coach, we have two of the returners here on stage, but which individuals do you expect to be making a big impact this year?
Well, of course, these two young ladies have put in a lot of hard work in our program. Brianna Williams is the only lone senior on our squad this year. She has a lot of responsibility and a lot of weight on her shoulder for leadership because she's in that position. But she's a hard-nosed, very intelligent player. She's one of these players that's a coach's dream. You give Bri an assignment and she's going to do it. Whether that's defending the best player on the other team, whether that's having to do something that's totally out of her realm on offense. We've had her handling the ball a little bit more this year. She's a wing player, but she's having to handle the ball a little bit more this season. But yeah, she's one of the coach's dream as a player, that she's going to do whatever it takes to win. She's got a huge heart. She goes hard every possession and every rep in practice. So we look to her for a lot of leadership and guidance with our young players to set the example for them. But I think she's going to have a great season. She's shooting the ball well right now. She's really in her groove, and I think this year is going to be a really breakout year for her. And, of course, Katie Bobos. I mean, she's coming off the Freshman of the Year award last year in our conference. But Katie's very much like Bree. She has a huge heart. She's a competitor. She only knows one speed, and that's just all out. When you go against Katie, you're going to get her best every day. And she loves challenges. For us, we learned early that, you give Katie a goal in the game. You say, hey, Katie, we need 10 rebounds, or we need you to get, 12 points, or we need you to shut down this player. She's going to do it. And that's how she actually won the Freshman of the Year award last year, is that we really broke down numbers as a staff for her and said, this is what you have to do to beat out these two other competitors for this award. And Katie grabbed hold and went after it. She was vicious at times, getting on the boards and getting rebounds. But she is again a huge competitor and works hard. You'll hear a lot of people say, players go through a sophomore slump. I don't think Katie's going to be in that position because of the work that she puts in and the effort she puts in. I think the only person that can stop Katie right now is Katie, and we work on that mental aspect of the game a lot with her. I think we've got two other returners that you'll see a lot of this year is Jasmine Wigfall, who played a lot of minutes for us last year. She's a junior in our program from Orlando, Florida. Again, shooting the ball well. She can put it on the floor, a very athletic player. We can isolate her in a lot of positions on the floor offensively to get some easy buckets versus less defenders. So we're looking forward to having Jasmine on the floor. And then a player that you guys didn't see last year but was actually in our program as a redshirt is Kelly Preston. And she's a transfer from the University of Denver. She had to sit out for transfer rules last year, so she got a year in with us as far as practice, and now she is rip-roaring and ready to go to be a player on the court. She had a great scrimmage this past Friday. We had a close scrimmage against Nicholls State, and she had a great scrimmage against them. And I'm looking for some really good things out of Kelly Preston this year.
Coach, how would you describe the team's schedule this year?
Very tough, very competitive. 3 or 4 of the teams on our schedule right now are preseason, either getting votes or they're already in the top 25. The Gulf South Conference is a very competitive women's basketball league. I compare it to the ACC and SEC of women's basketball at the Division I level. Night in, night out, there are quality players, quality coaches, quality teams that we go up against. And it is tough. It is tough in the sport of women's basketball to win a championship, and that's what we were so proud of our team last year for. But it's going to be hugely competitive. We only have 4 non-conference games because our conference has expanded, so most of our games are within the conference. So it'll be challenging, especially with a young team. I foresee us being in situations where we may lose a game or 2 that we're not supposed to lose because of our youth and our inexperience. But we're going to sneak up on some folks and beat people we're not supposed to beat because we're naive and young, and we don't know any better. So that's just kind of what happens when you have a young team and an inexperienced team. That sometimes it works out great for you, and other times it's like pulling teeth to get them to do what you want them to do. But we're excited about this year and what the potential of our team could be.
All right. We will open up to the media here in attendance.
Coach, how much did last year's success help in recruiting recognition of what you had going on?
I think it helped a lot. When I first got here, the biggest concern I had coming in as far as recruiting was getting local talent. We went around to local high schools and the local junior colleges, and there weren't a lot of players in this area that were really interested in coming to the University of West Florida. And I think last year's success, you'll see on our roster, we actually brought in 4 local players for this new roster this year. And I think that has a lot to do with our success here. They're looking at West Florida as a very viable option to come and play basketball and be a part of a great university. And so I think it's helped us in that way. Last year's team, we had 6 Division I transfers on the team. This year we're more high school and junior college transfer heavy. Which is a good thing. And I think, again, that goes back to us having some success. I think people are really looking at our program. The style of play that we do is a little different from other teams in our area and the teams in our conference. And I think it's a good draw for our local players. And, of course, we're always going to recruit nationally. We'll go where the players are. We want to field a good program and a good, solid foundation with players. It's easier to coach good players. I mean, we know that. And from a coaching standpoint, we want to bring in the talent that we need to win at this level.
Brianna and Katie, when you won the conference tournament, that meant obviously getting into the NCAA tournament, which hadn't been done here in a long time. What is the carryover effect, do you think, from something like that when you're now starting practice? You realize what last year meant, and you're trying to get back there. What is it?
I think that it brings, it brings like some pressure, but it's like a good pressure because we know like what it takes to get to the point that we were at last year. And we have 3 people that played last year that could help the freshmen, understand and really realize, this is what we have to do to get back where we were last year. So I don't know. I think it's, a good carryover feeling.
I think we're even more hungry this year just because there's not that many people like from last year that were here. So we're trying to get everybody on the same level. So I think once you win once, you just want to keep going. So I just want to do it again.
Stephanie, that was a big deal. fairness, nobody expected it, and you know, it's been a while, and you've probably already seen what it means to get that kind of awareness and recognition to play on that stage and be able to get into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, we have certainly enjoyed the celebrating, you know, after last season. You know, my first season here, we just weren't a very good team. We didn't win a lot. Last year, we were preseason ranked last in the conference. And then to come back and win it all at the end. And really come back hugely in the end. A lot of people, and I don't even know if our players realize, we lost our last 3 regular season games going into the tournament. You know, we weren't playing great basketball at the time. And I was concerned as a coach, could we really pull together 3 games in a row and beat teams that had already beat us during the regular season to pull out a conference championship? And I think that's something that the players, they'd forgotten that, you know, they only see one game at a time. And I think that's something that they've forgotten is that, yeah, we ended the season with 3 losses and then had to really fight hard in the tournament to win 3 in a row. And that was a great testament to our team. And to the fight and to the desire and to the work that they were really ready to put in. But that goes to being an experienced team. You know, I mean, Tessa's with our staff this year as a graduate assistant. Her knowledge and what she brought to the court last year was huge, and she's able to stay within our program and help our young players develop. I think that's a great thing for us, and having that desire and that kind of extra set of eyes for our point guards who are very young this year. But it was a big deal. But, you know, you see the players have a hard time answering that question because we've been really pounded in them that was last year. This is a different year. You know, we haven't done anything yet. We haven't earned anything yet. No one's going to give us anything unless we earn it. And so just because we won it last year doesn't mean it's expected to win this year, that we know we have to work hard to earn it again.
I think it's brought the rank to pick third this year, not last or next to last. So there's already, you can see what it does for respect, I think.
Yeah, and we're in a good spot. You know, I certainly didn't think that we would be picked first, you know, because of what we lost from last year's team. But being picked third definitely shows that level of respect that I think our program deserves, and that our program has really fought hard to obtain. So I think we're in a very good spot. And like I said, our players are hungry, they're eager, you know, and that's what we want. We want them to understand that it's work every day, and that no one's just going to give them a championship, that they have to earn it.
Who are you going to count on at point?
Yeah, we've got Jay Davis. She's a freshman out of St. Francis High School in Atlanta. She's right now our starting point guard. We have Kyla Muhammad, who's a transfer from Daytona Beach, who's a Pensacola native. She's coming off of a knee scope. She's fully ready to go now, but she's just a little bit behind in practice because it was just a slow start for her, coming off of a little bit of a repair work in the spring of last year of her knee. But she's coming on strong. So we've got 2 viable candidates. Of course, we have Bree that can handle the ball a little bit. We love to play 2 guards that can actually handle the ball at the same time on the court. You saw that was hugely successful for us last year when we had Tessa and Toy Johnson on the floor at the same time. And, of course, and Bree at that 2 spot that can handle the ball at times too. So we like that option to have multiple ball handlers on the floor. We just happen to have young kids and inexperience within our program at the point guard realms right now. But they're improving daily. They're getting better daily. They're being challenged daily. So we'll be ready to go.